Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Adventures of Drawing. I'll draw a little scene for you today using a variety of pencils, a smudging tool, and an eraser. So, without further ado, let's go right into this. Okay, got some green stuff from the coating of my pencils on the paper. Gotta erase that, and then let's go. Okay, starting with the sky. I want to have a really light sky. This is going to be a little bit like a sketch today. I want to try layering this scene that I drew yesterday a little bit differently. I want to see if I can make it look a little bit more like a glade instead of just a couple of trees standing on an otherwise empty plain. Okay, getting the sky roughly even with not too many gaps in between the lines. Tad bit darker at the top. There. Okay, then I'm going across with the smudging tool. Like that. Okay, and that's it. All right, for the first layer in the background, I'll have just a couple of trees, like so. And we don't see any detail in them, so they're just like a plane in there that's one-dimensional, that has a light medium value. Because it's in the distance, it's not too dark, but it's darker than the sky, of course. Okay, get all those edges up here. Gotta fill them in. Like this. Down here, connected to the horizon, to the ground. Let's go across maybe once, just to fill it in a little bit more. Get those treetops. All right. Then let's have a ground down here. And I gotta say, I really liked the way the ground turned out yesterday. So I want to keep that for a while in my drawings. Of course, I'm going to experiment with it every once in a while, change it up however I want it eventually, but for now, that's what my ground is going to look like. Okay, get the background right here. Maybe already a little something in there. Every now and again in a couple of gaps. Like so. on to the next layer of trees. I'm not sure if I should go to the 3B pencil already, so I'm not going to do that. I just have another layer right here. Maybe something like this. And that's going to be a little darker, and it's going to start more down here. Okay, I'll go across. Like so. Fill that in up here. Fill this in on the left side. Maybe like so. So since I'm just layering flat, I don't know what to call those, like panels on top of each other, you can't really see the layer behind it through. So I don't know if it's going to stack and look like there are a lot of layers, or if in the end you're just going to be able to see the layer that's closest to you or to the observer, and then it's going to look really flat. But I'm trying to leave this gap in the middle so that we can see into the distance right here, and maybe I'll leave this tree from the very first layer, leave that poking out as well, so that there's some depth to the scene at the end. Okay, let me extend the ground into the midground right here. Like this, and then change to the 3B pencil and go in, filling in those gaps, giving this detail to the ground. Right here. In there. Of course, you can leave some of those gaps, so you've got more contrast. You're gonna have light and dark and medium values if you leave some gaps blank. Maybe change some of those lines up. Of course, you're seeing that I'm mostly just cross-hatching diagonally right here, but you can, like, let me give you an example here. Make some larger lines to give this type of ground some variation. Also, maybe don't cross-hatch, maybe go along in more long lines like this. Okay, but for now, this is our underground in the midground. Let's have that fade into the background a little bit right here and there. Okay. Right here, maybe I'm going to start to draw some tree trunks. First, let me set up the foliage. I'll have a gap right here, and then all this is going to be covered by leaves. And also this right here, maybe up to this point, and then right there, maybe like so. And then we're going to have a lot of trunks. And since the tree tops are going to overlap, we don't see any individual trees in there. So I don't have to make sure I connect every tree trunk to a top. So I can just put in trunks here. Let me put them rather close to each other so that it's going to look really like a thick forest that you can't see through. Right here. Okay, let's give this a trunk right there. Let's have this come up from here a little bit closer to us. Make it a little wider. But as I said, I'm going to have this stick out, and then there's just going to be a gap in the foliage there. Okay, a little bit more in the distance, back there. There's the rest of those trees. Maybe another one right here. Put them really close together. Another one right there at the edge. It's probably going to be erased when I cut off the edges, but I want to have it there just in case that part is going to be part of the drawing. Okay, now as we are closer to the observer, it's all getting darker right here, since not too many particles in the atmosphere block out or change the light, and we're getting darker values. And if I was working with contrast right here, we would get more contrast. But since I'm just blocking in this one value, I don't have to really worry about contrast. Okay. I wanted to avoid drawing over the line, but when you're doing sort of this sketchy type drawing, it sometimes happens. Okay, go over here. Okay, just had to think a little bit about the next layer, and I think so I know what I'm going to do, but I'm thinking about whether or not I should draw in the ground first. which I think I am going to do, yeah. I think it wouldn't really matter, but let's go with the ground first. Just some lines right here, and that's really all of the lines I want, since I want more areas or larger areas with the darker value. And I'm switching to the 7B pencil right now, since approaching the observer, as I just said, the contrast gets stronger and we have darker darks and lighter lights in our scene. Okay, going over here, going up there, maybe just vertically in this space right here and turning left, then something rather flat in here and going up right there. Over to this side, something in here, something in there, a little bit in here. There's a gap, there's a line, there's something here, something there, and there, and there. Got a little gap over here that goes over there. Something in here, and then we've got this larger area right here, and I'm thinking about just leaving that blank as the just lighter area of the ground right here. Let's have some lines go in there, but let's leave it like this. So there's another element in the ground right here. Okay, still sticking to the 7B pencil. Right here we stand below the trees and we can't see the leaves. I really like the spacing between the trees right here. That's why I'm thinking about where I should put those tree trunks right now. Maybe there's one right here. And they're even wider now, since they're really close. Let's just put maybe 2 or 3 in to not block out too much of the background. Okay, but maybe put one right here that's on this entire side. Put another one in maybe right there, but keep a little bit of this space between those trees right here. Make it maybe this wide. Keep that space there. So we've got 3 right now. Let's have another one over here. Let's put in a 4th. Let's go. Oh damn, I'm cutting out this nice area right here. I really like that. But it's gone now. At least I kept this part right there that I wanted to keep. Okay. Now that we are very close, I could, as I mostly do, give those trees a light side and a shadow side, but I think I'm just sticking to the, well, could you call it a style? I don't know. Or stick to this flat sketching technique that I've been using for this scene and just give them a dark value across the entirety of the trunk. Okay. Over to the left side. So I really like this sketch since, I don't know, I let loose and I didn't care about it being beautiful or detailed, because I normally, well, I do like a lot of detail in drawings and paintings, and that's what I want for my own. But in the process of learning how to draw, this quick style is a good method of teaching yourself composition. If you add in all the details that you want in every drawing and every sketch that you're going to do, then you're not going to be able to pump out as many sketches as you would maybe want to. And when learning learning composition, the details are irrelevant. So you're going to have to sacrifice the beauty that you want for the learning process of what makes a good composition, what gives the drawing a lot of depth. How do I have to position those trunks and those trees so that you can see behind them and it looks like a dense forest where the trees stand really close to each other. And of course, I didn't do a perfect job at that. I think it's still more like separate trees, but not as bad as yesterday. So that's an improvement. And of course, it's going to take a couple more sketches for me to be able to pull that off and really compose a scene in a way that it looks like you're really standing in a forest instead of just standing in a plain where there are a couple of trees. So while I am not proud, but let's say okay with the result of the drawing itself right now, I'm really content with the process that got me there. And we are at over 20 minutes for this video, so I don't even think that that's too short. In the beginning, when I thought about just putting in those planes, I thought it's going to be done in 5 minutes, and I don't just want a 5-minute video for you. I want something a little bit longer, since maybe some of you use this as background noise for work or other creative stuff. I think it's not going to do just having a 5-minute video and then you have to click on another one. So I'm pretty glad about that as well. After I erased this edge right here, I thought about the fact that I could have just left everything, since this is such a rough sketch, and I would have liked the lines to go out into the frame. That would have really enhanced the energy that I had right here of making quick and rough lines. But since I already had erased that one edge, I continued to do so with the others. But for another drawing. Maybe I'll keep that in mind and just leave those energetic lines in. Could be a cool characteristic to a sketch. Okay, let's get all this eraser off here. And there we've got it. Our scene for today. I hope you like what you saw and heard from me today. Please consider subscribing if you find yourself coming back to the channel. Drop a like on the video if you liked it, and drop down in the comments to tell me what you think about what I'm doing here. Okay, with all that said, thanks again for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one, and bye bye.